Hello everyone, welcome back to my channel. Today let's go over a medium level question that I just solved on my own. So I'm super happy about this and I'm very glad that I was able to come up with my own solution to this question without any assistance. So let's go over it and let me show you how I did it. So this is question 3265, count almost equal pairs 1. So basically they're asking you to count the number of pairs where one integer is to the left of the other. So the number of pairs where you can swap if they're not already equal. You can swap within each number to equal to the other to make it equal to the other. So you can swap as many times as you want in a single number. So, and then return the number of pairs that can be equivalent to each other after any number of swaps. So let's go ahead and do that. So let's call this answer. And because these are integers, let's go ahead and turn them into strings so they're easier to parse so we can actually modify them. So let's do that. Let's say nums of I is equal to string of n. And then let's go ahead and get each pair. And let's call the first pair to the left 1 and the one to the right 2. Cool. Let's print 1 and 2. And then we want to make these a list because in Python you cannot modify strings. Strings are immutable. Okay, so now we want to go ahead and start swapping, and we're going to use a Boolean flag. Let's assume that they are not equal, because first of all, if 1 is equal to 2, then that's already a valid pair, right? In a certain case, if this was 0, 3, then this would be a valid pair already, but it's not, so we're going to try to swap this to equal to this, or swap this to equal to this. Okay, so cool. So now let's go ahead and, again, you can only swap within the current pair to, or the current number to equal to the other one. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's say for k in range length 1, for l in range k plus 1 length of 1. So then we're going to try to swap each pair, and we're going to compare 1 to 2 to see if they're equal at any point. And then to reverse the swap operation, since we already swapped them, let's just swap them again to redo it instead of having to build a new list again. Cool. So let's run this. And at any point, if 1 is equal to 2, then we're going to have, we're going to set that Boolean flag to true, which it's not in this case. So let's go and do the same thing for 2. And let's actually go ahead and try that. So again, 1, k, 1, or this is going to be for 2, equals to 2l and 2 of k. So let's print 1, 2, and then redo that again. Okay, so this is incorrect. It's supposed to be L and K, because this is assigned to this is assigned to this. So L and K. Okay, so notice that this is actually the same, because if we make this an integer, it's the same as this as an integer, and then this is going to be the same as this. So then we can set that Boolean flag to true if, let's call this A and B, is integer of 1, integer of 2. So if A is equal to B at any point, then set the flag to true. And we do the same thing. We're playing around with this one to equal this one, and then we're playing around with this one to equal this. So 1 as an integer, and 2. So again, if A is equal to B, flag is true. And at any point, if we're done with all the swaps, if the flag is true, then we can increment answer, and we can also print 1 and 2 to show the pairs that are valid without duplicating them in terms of counting them. Okay, so Okay, so int 1. Okay, I'm not seeing the problem here. Okay. So this is 1 and this is 2. Let's do that. Must be a bite-sized object. Okay. Let's call this B. Maybe we do this instead. Of the other. Okay, yeah. So I put the int in the wrong place. That's fine. So turning it into a string and then casting it as an integer. Okay, let's go ahead and run this. Okay, so let's go ahead and only print the valid pairs. Okay, so you can see there are 2 of them, and they're all equal. So flag was already set to true here. And then again, we can just count the number of pairs and at the end return the number of valid pairs. So let's run this. Okay, submit it. And there you go. Passes all test cases. So again, I'm super happy that I was able to come up with my own solution to this question without any assistance and solve it completely on my own. So that's it for this video, and thank you for watching.